we must take seriously this assault on civilization. I'm pleased that the president is doing everything he can to rebuild the coalition, but this signals again, we're at war. The civilized community of the world is at war, a global war against terror.
Strong words from President Trump as he, on this first trip overseas, from the very first words that he uttered, that speech in Saudi Arabia on Sunday, to the words that we've heard from him just today in Israel. When he was standing next to Mahmoud Abbas, President Trump talked about terrorists as evil losers, saying, I won't call them monsters, because they would like that term. He spoke directly to the people of Israel, talking about uniting Arab nations against what I will say is radical Islamic terrorism. But, Mr. Attorney General, those are words. What about the actions that we expect from these partners in the fight against terrorism and our own actions in fighting this grave threat?
Well, information is the enemy of terror. When we have the right information, we can default and prevent terror rather than react to it. And the ability to have a cooperative coalition, and that includes people who might otherwise be enemies, like Saudi Arabia and Israel have not been longtime friends. We could say that for sure. But when the President of the United States identifies a common interest of survival between nations that have previously been antagonistic and helps bring them together for purposes of fighting terror, that's valuable. And he's going to see the Pope. It's interesting to me that he is visiting a diverse set of interests to unite them and to bring the kind of leadership that the United States ought to have in the war on terror. And we need for our intelligence community, however, to be acting professionally and not leaking and otherwise undermining the efforts of the President to be a credible force against terror around the world.
Well, do you think that this attack will drive home, this deadly attack on preteens and children in Manchester, England, will just by itself drive home that point to our law enforcement and intelligence community here in the U.S.?
Well, first of all, the vast majority of law enforcement and intelligence community individuals in the United States are very deeply committed to defaulting and deflecting and preventing terrorist attacks. But some of the things like the leaks, which undermine the credibility of our intelligence community, could be damaging in the President's effort to build the worldwide coalition. And we need to understand we're in a global war on terror. It's time for us to give a maximum effort, and the effort of people to somehow undermine this presidency by accusations, innuendos, and leaks simply makes our job and his job more difficult and makes the world less safe.
Mr. Attorney General, it also drives home the point that we need to quickly have a director of the FBI in place. Do you have anyone in mind? Because a number of people have dropped out. Joe Lieberman's name is still out there, the senator from Connecticut, as a possible replacement for James Comey. But can you just speak to the speed with which that you need to have a new director in place?
Well, first of all, let me signal that my understanding of the FBI from my years of experience with it is that the investigations and business of the FBI is going forward. I don't want to underestimate the value of the leadership of the FBI, but to think that it is somehow an institution paralyzed in the absence of leadership would be wrong. And we should get the right person. It's better to do things that are right than things that are quick in this instance.
I want to shift gears just a little bit, because the former FBI Director James Comey will not be testifying in public this week. House Oversight Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz was tweeting that the open hearing that he hoped to hold tomorrow has been postponed because Comey, it's reported that he wants to speak with Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who's investigating Russian meddling in the election last year, before he attends open hearings. What do you make of Comey wanting to meet with Mueller before speaking in public?
Well, I can't really comment on whether Comey wants to meet with Mueller or Mueller wants to meet with Comey. It would be understandable if a person charged as special counsel with the Justice Department wanted to speak with leadership that had been involved in prior iterations or prior components of the investigation. If he wanted to hear from him or speak with him prior to testimony in the Congress, I could understand that. So I don't think it's a significant anomaly of any kind that there might be an effort on the part of the person conducting an investigation now to talk to people who were involved in prior components or prior parts of the investigation.
Mr. Attorney General, who do you think should get that job, FBI director?
Oh, I'm not going to try and say who should get it. It is an important job. It's a job that's been held by individuals of notable capacity and integrity in the past, and taking the necessary time to get it right is important. I believe that the work of the FBI is going to go forward. I don't think any investigation is in any way impaired by the absence of the person at the very top. The people at the organization know how to continue their activities and undertake that professionally.
Thank you for pointing that out, and thank you for being here today. Attorney General John Ashcroft, take care. We'll see you soon.
It's my honor. Thank you.